Okay, guys, here is my next lesson in poker strategy. It is called the prime number betting strategy. It's called the prime betting strategy for short. We are deep in a sit and go here, down to 3 players. It's a $300 sit and go. Here we are with Jack 7. Very powerful hand to use the strategy on. We raised a prime number. He calls. Now we'll bet a prime number on the flop. Let's go with some 431. And, right next to this window we have open a list of prime numbers to bet. So now we go deeper. We're in Ace-8. Bet again, 283. Sometimes you misclick and put in the wrong amount. That's always dangerous. Here we go. We missed the flop again, but our opponent did as well, I'm sure. 547. The key to the prime number strategy is your opponent usually misses thanks to betting in a prime number. So here we are in first place with Ace-Jack. Going to raise to, let's go 251. He calls King 510. We missed, but he probably missed 2. We are betting 547. It's a dangerous hand, Ace-Jack, because it's 21, which is not prime, but also 11, which is. So it may be a strong hand, may not be. It may counterbalance itself. Just keep betting here. We'll bet one more time. 1093. Yeah, we left him with 2. That's a mistake. You never want to leave your opponent with a prime number, because when they call, they win. In this case, it really doesn't matter what the cards were. He was going to win no matter what. Here we are at 7-6, offsuit, prime number. I mean, not offsuit, suited, I'm sorry. And we bet a prime number. He calls. We'll follow that with another bet. You see a pair of 6s. I don't really know why the words are above my betting window. When I got on PokerStars today, it uploaded a new update. And, that was one of the features I noticed is they put the actual hand value there, which is probably good for noobs. But for an advanced player such as myself, someone who can actually institute the prime strategy, here we are with Queen 10-7 on the flop. Bet 419, which leaves us with 6337, which is prime. Oop, well, he raised back 419, which is a prime number. And wow, he has 4673 left, which is also prime. I don't want to jump in too fast. Sometimes these situations come up. And, looking at our opponent's hand and the way he bet here, I'm thinking actually he's familiar with this strategy and just counterbalanced it. So even if he's behind, say he has King-Jack, because of the way he bet here, because I can't go all in, because if he calls a prime number. We're probably just going to have to fold and not take our chances. It probably has King-Jack, and an ace will come on the turn, So, sometimes, but we made the right decision because of that prime strategy. We knew exactly what to do. So here we're on the next hand. Queen 4. We'll raise a prime number. We'll make it, 3. Sorry, I got to look at the chart here. I was at the bottom looking at those numbers. 367. And flop comes King 9-9. We missed. So let's try something different here. Let's just check, see how this works out. See what he does. I want to do some math here. I'm trying to figure out what would happen if I bet a number and then was able to bet a prime number on the turn and the river. So in this case, he raises. So we'll probably, if we make it, I think we make it 233, right? So if you look at 57-37 is prime. Now if we go all in, he loses. No matter what, he loses. If he calls, he loses. If he folds, he loses. He's gonna lose. 5. So let's see what happens here. Like I said, strategy works to a T. Just one more example of that. Next hand, Jack 7, prime. Good hand to have in this situation. And, this is a thing I actually learned playing live. A dealer in Atlantic City told me about the prime strategy. And I didn't really believe him. I came home, tried it on full tilt. And I'll get back to that a little later. But here we are, Jack 7, flop. Actually, let me finish that. you know, if you look at my full tilt results, same screen name, about 500 sit and goes ago, I was a losing player. Now I'm up about 200. You know, slowly grinding my way up using this strategy. Didn't trust it at first. Okay, move to later action with Queen 10 here. Gonna bet another prime number here. Let's pick one from the chart. We'll go with 3. We went with 373. Bet flop 8 Jack Queen. You know, here's Queen 10 with a top pair with a straight draw, backdoor flush draw. He raises a prime number back, and we're gonna push pretty hard here in a minute. But let's probably just call right now. Let's raise again. No, I don't know. Probably raise again. Yeah. So we push pretty hard. He's down to 20.43. Now let's bet again and leave him with very little. We want to make sure we can bet a prime number. But, you know, let's go pretty hard here. Let's go 20.39. And Mimo calls. You know, I didn't realize. I was thinking that we could bet over that and would matter. But then he only has to call, not a prime number. So as you can see, I just kind of screwed that strategy up a little bit there. Sorry about that. Sometimes it gets frustrating looking at these numbers. Okay, so here we are with Ace 5. Bet 353. He calls. Flop is Queen King 3. Flop is prime. That's good. And we bet prime and he folds. So we've almost got bat 1,000 out. I think once he realized what kind of strategy I was using, he was hoping that I would just wipe out the table and he'd finish second. You know, a lot of the better players are familiar with this strategy. When they see people betting odd numbers, they know exactly what's coming. I challenge you to check all of these bets, you know, and prove to me that any of those numbers weren't prime. 1913 there. We left ourselves with 3, you know, prime and prime. Moving on. Here we are with Jack 4, and so far you can see how well this strategy is working. You know, granted, sometimes the chips aren't quite where they need to be, but we'll get those back. Obviously, we're deep here. Here's another bet, and a fold. Once again, bat 1,000 is almost out. We will soon be in the money, and usually, you know, you got a player almost out, and you kind of let him blind himself out. If he's sitting out, but in this case, we're using a strategy that just basically is tough to beat. So why would we give our opponent a break? You know, maybe we reward bat 1,000 for a good strategy. You know, recognizing the prime strategy, realizing, you know, how dominant it can be, and just sitting there waiting. You know, waiting for me to take out Hamimo, but did not work quite out for bat 1,000. But you know, kudos goes to him for making the money. We may show that strategy later on a later lesson. Here we are, King 9. King 9 is prime, so we're gonna make a pretty hefty bet here. 31.21. The reason we chose that number is it left us with 157. You want to go check that number? Guess what? It's prime. That's right. And notice the flop, 19, another prime number. So we should be pretty good to go here. But our opponent has 19 as well. So like I said, you know, that kind of a situation where you have a prime number in your hand, you're able to bet a prime number and follow up with a prime number all in, it's good. Almost can't lose. And in this case, it couldn't have lost. You know, it's a perfect example. Now we'll test this theory pretty strong here. 7-2 is a pretty strong, pretty weak hand, but with prime number strategy, they're all good. So here we are raising, leaving ourselves with 61. Anyone who want to check what 61 is? It's prime. So here we are. We're behind, you know, but here we go. Runner, runner. There's a pair. Here comes that second. Ooh. Oh, you know, it's. You look how far it got us, though. We finished second. Great job with the strategy. You know, try it.